My lawyer nudged me for a reaction. I kept staring at everyone. What should I say? I looked at ex-wife and she curled her lips and smiled as if she knew what was coming. I held Lara's hand and said, "Baby, I hope you know what you're saying. Giving up on my parental rights would mean you cannot call me dad, you would no longer be my daughter." She shrugged off my hand, looked dead into my eyes, and said, "Yeah, that's what I want." I was flabbergasted. I ran short of words to make her understand the implications of her decision. My lawyer tried to make her understand what would happen if I disown her, like property matter and stuff, but she didn't change her mind. She turned to her stepfather and asked, "Once he disowns me, you'll be able to adopt me as your daughter, right?" He nodded with wide eyes. "Surely, darling." Words cannot describe the bitterness I felt at that moment. My world shattered. To say the least, I lost my purpose in life. After getting cheated by my wife of 15 years, the only sunshine in my life was Lara. She was the only one I was looking up to after my hectic 2 jobs. I didn't date any woman even after 2 years of my divorce. Neither I had the time, nor I wanted to. I wanted to give my undivided love and attention to Lara. This is what I got in return. She wanted to get rid of me. My condition was so pathetic that I wasn't able to think straight. My lawyer borrowed some time to get back to them. I am sure my ex and her husband would have a satisfied sleep that night after seeing me in such a vulnerable state. My lawyer drove me home. After he left, I howled like a baby for hours in my empty house. All kinds of emotions were pouring out from my heart. I called my parents and told them about Lara's demand. They were absolutely petrified. They rushed to console me. My parents, particularly my mom, was very close to Lara. She took care of her for more than a year. My wife had to undergo surgery and she was put on bed rest for a year. During that period, my mom took care of both of them, Lara and ex-wife both. Mom gave it a shot, but Lara was adamant that I give away my parental rights. She desperately wanted to be his stepdad's daughter. He had told her he could not adopt her until I gave up on the parental rights. I asked my lawyer what options I had. He said we could sue them for manipulating Lara. Since Lara was 12, it would be hard to prove she was being manipulated. Besides, they had money to fight a long court case, but I didn't. Plus, what's the point of fighting? The one I am fighting for is already sold on their side. It's a lost battle. I was left with no choice other than to swallow the bitter pill and give up on my fatherly rights. For the next 1 week, I was curled up inside my bed. I left my second job. Who do I earn for now? I lost all purpose to wake up in the morning and go to work. I took so many leaves in my full-time job and faltered so much that I was eventually fired. I moved to a different town, slept at a subway station, and wandered like a maniac for days. Gradually, I came out of this. Found a new job, hit a gym, and enrolled in therapy. It took me a good 2 years to come out of it. I didn't ride on the dating wagon, but I took many solo trekking trips as a healing therapy. On one of those trips, I met my current wife, Brianna. She had a daughter, Emma, who was 5 back then. After dating for a while, we have moved in together. When Brianna introduced me to Emma for the first time, I broke down. She reminded me of Lara. I desperately wanted Emma to call me dad, but I backed off. I didn't want to hurt myself again. I maintained a very healthy yet distant relationship with Emma. It came to a full circle when on her 12th birthday, Emma asked me to adopt her. I was so overwhelmed. So, now I have 2 daughters, Emma, and a 3-year-old toddler, Amy, with my second wife. I think I have given enough context about my situation. Now fast forward to a week ago. I was returning from work and I saw a familiar face smiling at me. As I came closer, I realized it was none other than Lara. I got shivers as if I saw a ghost. She got taller, leaner, and way prettier, but it wasn't difficult for me to recognize her. She ran towards me and hugged me, saying, "Dad, I'm your daughter Lara. Finally, I found you." I looked at her with dead eyes and said, "I have 2 daughters, but it's not you." Before she said anything, I started walking away. She followed me, but I looked back and said, "Quit following me, else I'll report you." I didn't see her after that. The next day, she showed up at my house. As soon as I opened the door, she said, I am sorry. I know you are mad at me, but please hear me out. Mom's dead and stepdad has brought his mistress home. He doesn't love me the way he used to when Mom was alive. He has cut me off financially and says I need to earn my own money now. When I pestered, he said he's gonna disown me. I heard her rant and then replied with a straight face, "So what?" She started pleading with me for another chance. I screamed at her to get out and slammed the door in her face. She then went to my mom and apologized to her. She was able to manipulate Mom with her tears, and now Mom wants me to reconcile with Lara for the sake of the family. The pain she has inflicted upon me is not letting me reconcile with her. Am I an a-hole? Update 1, addressing the comments. Some of you asked about my ex-wife, if she was a gold digger, to judge whether she was the one who manipulated Lara or if it was something to do with me. So here's a brief context about my ex-wife. We dated for 2 years before getting married. While we were dating, she was waiting tables at a local bar. I was a regular there, and that's how we started seeing each other. She was living with her coworker. I had one full-time job and was living in a studio apartment. That's when I got another job, saved up more, and got a house to accommodate her. We got married and she left her job. For the first 6 to 7 years of marriage, she was happy and content with my earnings, but then she started whining about how her friends got so much better earning husbands than her. She would even say to my face that she should have waited for some more time to find a richer husband than settling with me. It was offensive and we would get into a fighting match. Of course, I cannot stand there and take all the cat shit she would throw at me. Eventually, our relationship got cold and distant, and one fine day, she dropped the bombshell that she had been sleeping with a rich man and would be moving out to live with him.